Lana thread. It's out of the Aurifil collection. It's the wool thread. It's a mix of wool and acrylic, 50% wool, 50% acrylic. And the acrylic, I have one spool open somewhere, I don't know what to do with it. The acrylic gives it extra strength so that when you use it either on the machine or by hand, it doesn't break, as some wool threads do when you pull on them a little bit too strongly. When I started designing, I wanted to make very quick, easy, handmade, seasonal designs, little things for hanging up in the house at Christmas time or for holidays or cushions or for birthday presents and that kind of thing. And the wool felt was perfect for me because I wanted something that even my kids could do if they wanted to as well as they helped me. So there's no frame, you don't have to be fussy about things being perfect when you do your seams. And I started working out with pearl cotton. That was the first thread that I used. And I found it was great for doing the very basic, simple stitches like back stitch, running stitch, and the blanket stitch. And all my first designs had only those three stitches. After a couple of years, I started doing shows in France, and I met Alex in a show, a quilt show in Lyon. And he looked at my threads and he could see that lovely wool effect when you look up close. And as soon as you start stitching and doing some interesting hand embroidery stitches, the thread just comes into itself and square. So let me see, I can show you some things that I've been making with it. I have at the moment, I'm being distributed by Brewer, and they have a full collection of my patterns and also the last two books that I've published. One of them is in French only, but the designs are very simple to follow because there's a lot of detailed photographs and you have the templates, full-size templates, so if you're used to piecing or doing any kind of patchwork, you can follow this very, very easily. And the last book is the Cinnamon Inspirations, which is bilingual, and I'm very proud of because I was able to do it in 2 languages. And in both of these books, I used only Lana for all the designs. Let me see, what can I do? This is not with the wool felt that I use usually. This is with a heavier reversible wool felt. But I just wanted to show you that you can use it on the machine as well. I did hand stitching basically to begin with, and then I tried it out on the machine. So long as you have a larger needle, like a size 14, 16, you wind your bobbin with it. I've had absolutely no trouble at all. I do very simple things. I don't do anything too intricate. But it's hand stitched and machine stitched, and it just works perfectly. These are some samples of machine embroidery with Lana also in the bobbin. So you can look back and front, and you can see that the back is perfect too. So that's because the bobbin thread is okay.
Excuse me, did you just say you used it in the bobbin also?
Yeah.
Okay,
for simple stitching, I have tried doing some free motion embroidery or quilting with it, and you need to use another thread in the bobbin. I'm not a specialist at all, but I have a friend who does free motion, and we've tried that, and it does work. But you have to try something else in the bobbin. If you want to do regular sewing, you could use this for making clothes with, for making bags, for making accessories. It's perfect. You just wind your bobbin and use a larger needle, a 12 or 14 size needle, and it's perfect. It's worth trying, depending on the kind of fabric that you're working with, and if it's thicker, you may need to change the tension slightly, but in fact I haven't had any trouble with it at all. These have been stitched with, there's a little bit of machine stitching, and but you can, to bring a sample, you can wet it and dry it in the dryer before you start working with it. And it fleeces it up a little bit, and it gives it a more fluffy texture. I don't think I brought the sample to produce this kit. And I chose, these are the 12 colours that I use most in all of my designs. And I chose them really there's a reason for each colour. Each colour has a reason to exist, and some of them are really, to me, essential colours that you don't want to be without. This is probably my most favourite colour. It's 8920. It's kind of an aged bronze colour, and it goes with pretty much everything that I ever stitch with.
What's the number?
8920. It goes with all of these kind of folk arty dark colours. Anything autumnal, the moss greens, the oranges, the browns. This colour is absolutely perfect. It just stands out with
And this is the wool thread.
This is the wool thread. It's the wool and acrylic, lana it's called. Now you can buy this. You can buy this by the spool if you want to fill a display unit. There's Aurifil offers a desktop display unit or a full floor unit if you want. But in the desktop unit you can put 49 spools, and the spools come in boxes of 6. Is that right? I'm not quite sure. You have to go to talk to Aurifil about how they do it, but you can actually buy the colours by a box of 6. I have a desktop unit that I use when I do shows. I travel around and I do a lot of craft shows, so I usually use the desktop unit and I just put it, I display it. But I have a simpler way of displaying my threads, and this is what I generally do, because I find it's a really nice way of making a colour statement. And I choose, I think I can put like 40 colours on this little bag, and I generally try to create sort of an ambiance around the colours with the design, with some books, with some wall felt. And people, it's like eye candy when they come and they see this, and they pick all the lovely bright colours, or the purples or the greens, or okay. And it's a very easy way to sell the thread, because it's a thread that you're going to use. It's not just a thread for sewing, for piecing with. It's a novelty thread that you're going to use to embellish something that you're making. And that's the beauty of it. You want to be able to see it when you stitch with it. You want to be able to say, look at my lovely stitching, look at this lovely old-fashioned embroidery stitch that I used, and look at how nice this thread looks when I do that stitch.
So is the 12 kit pack available like that?
Yes, it's available at Brewer, it's available at Aurifil as well. And like I said, each colour really has, is useful. The mossy green, 8950, that's for all the autumnal colours. Black is essential for anything folk arty, and you can't use any other black. Once you started using this, you won't want to just use an ordinary black. You want to use a lana black. This deep burgundy is a beautiful colour. It's 8465. It goes lovely with dark greens, with pinks. I use it a lot in this kind of colour scheme, rather than for highlighting or for doing some darker stitches here. That's the burgundy colour that I used. You can use it in Christmas as well, say with reds, and it gives more texture or more definition to, say, something that you've outlined in red or that you've already stitched in red. That's a really, really nice colour.
Excuse me, Marianne. Do you have an open one this lady wanted to feel?
Yeah, I do have an open one. So I'm going to find that for you now. And just don't let me forget about it, but when you're stitching it doesn't. So long as you have the right needle with the right eye, then you have absolutely no trouble.
And you double it.
Quite often I double it. Sometimes I don't. If I'm doing smaller little designs like this one here,
Oh, well, right.
okay, which is very similar to one of these pieces. I just kind of scaled it down. This one was all done with double, and this is done with a single thread.
Oh, okay.
So depending on how big or small the motif is.
What needle do you use?
I use crewel embroidery. I use Bohin, B-O-H-I-N. I really like their needles.
And it's a crewel.
Crewel embroidery, I think it's number 7, but they now have a new range of felt needles out.
Oh, okay.
And it has a larger eye, so it's very easy
Number
to...
7.
Yeah, or else a regular 22 needle. Generally the eye is quite good. But don't try and force it into a small eye because you'll just go crazy. The same length, but it doesn't matter. It just gives it a very kind of a country look, I suppose, and that's what I like about it. And it's a perfect thread for that. I'm sure other people use it in a more sophisticated way and are going to try and Pat, when she comes afterwards, Pat Sloan, she's used it and she does machine blanket stitching with it. So, if you're going to stay on, you can talk to her and ask her about her experience of using it on the machine. But to me, it is the most wonderful thread for hand stitching.
I
For
think it's on
piecing,
the machine too. It looks great.
yeah, pastels, you can do children's rooms and nursery decorations, and then go into Christmas or autumn. You make little useful things like this. And that's all, again, lana, which I used here for all the stitching details. Did you have a question? Yeah. The book.
Right here.
Oh, this is going around.